This is an example of X-linked inheritance. So this problem is going to look a little different because I'm trying to denote the sex chromosomes and also this trait. And in this case, this problem is looking at the inheritance of a gene that either um, means that the individual's phenotype is normal vision. So you have to have one copy of the dominant allele to have normal vision. If you have one or two copies of the recessive allele and no dominant allele, the phenotype is color blindness. So in humans, this gene for normal versus colorblind vision is on the X chromosome. It's on a place in the X chromosome where there is no homologous segment of DNA on the Y chromosome. So males who have one X and one Y only have one copy of this gene. So in this example, we are crossing a female. So she's got two copies of the X chromosome who has normal vision, so she's heterozygous for this trait, with a male who has normal vision. So we can't really say heterozygous, homozygous, dominant because he just has one copy of this allele. There is no gene. There is no colorblind gene on the Y chromosome, just on the X. So he just has one copy. So when we set up our square, I'm going to show the chromosome and then also the gene. So the female, when she makes her gametes, they're all going to have X chromosomes because she doesn't have any Y chromosomes. And half of her X chromosomes are going to have the dominant allele, and half are going to have the recessive allele. For males, their sperm are either going to have an X chromosome or a Y chromosome. All of the X chromosomes are going to have this big B, because if you see up here, that was the only option he had. All of his Y chromosomes are not even going to have this gene. So I'm just writing the Y chromosome here for this particular contribution to the next generation. So as we did before, we're going to be populating the square with the diploid, the offspring's diploid genotype. So if this egg fused with this sperm, we would have a female who's got normal vision. If this egg fused with this sperm up top, this one, we would have a female who is heterozygous, but she has normal vision. Sometimes we call individuals like this a carrier because she's not showing it, but she does have this gene. She would have normal vision. And then they potentially could have some male offspring if the sperm that fuses with the egg contains the Y chromosome. For every one male that has normal vision, this couple should expect to have one male child who is colorblind. So this is kind of interesting, and when we talk about the phenotypes for these X-linked traits, we should include both the gender of the offspring and their phenotype relative to this trait. So we're looking at a 1-to-1 to 1 to 1 ratio of phenotypes, where for every one normal, actually, let me erase this, because we actually have, I screwed up, all of the females, in this case, have normal vision. So it's 2-to-1 to 1. Where if we're talking about the male offspring, we would expect a 1-to-1 ratio, where for every one that has normal vision, we would expect one of their male offspring to be colorblind. So this is an example of how you solve a genetics problem when it's X-linked, meaning that it's on a region of the X chromosome for which there is no homologous region on the Y. Thanks for watching.